Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I started collecting coins around the turn of the century, and I remember during Y2K everybody wanted junk silver, 90% silver, dimes, quarters, half dollars. And the idea was that if everything were to go down, we could use them to barter. What people forget is that there's a heck of a lot of silver that's doing nothing right now, sitting in people's shelves. And not the same can be said about bismuth and some of the strategic metals like tellurium. So if you expect industrial society to go on but the dollar to crash, right, I would much rather barter with this stuff. Now, here in 2023, the people are getting excited about, every time I hear a job opening, there seems to be excitement about same-day pay, and I think part of that is people recognize that by the time you get paid a week or 2 weeks later, your money doesn't seem to go as far, right? You know, I also listen to the Dave Ramsey show a lot, and Dave Ramsey often gets upset about people who are drowning in payday loan debt, but it occurred to me that if people got paid daily, the whole idea of payday loans would disappear. First of all, you'd have nothing to borrow against, and second, you might not need to borrow it, right? And I know this because I experienced it myself. I was working at a small university. They have unfortunately folded, but you guys remember when I was in Seattle. And Putin had just invaded Ukraine. Ukrainians were fleeing to Poland, and I was hoping to buy some Polish stocks, EPOL. I have a little bit of an affectionate nickname for the EPOL. I call it the Polonium Mining ETF. And it had crashed. I think it was $12, $13 a share, if I remember correctly. And I called HR and asked if I could get an advance on my pay, and HR wanted to know what was going on, and I just said it was some family matters. I kept it very vague, you know. It's kind of personal. We'll talk about it later. I have some family issues that really aren't up for discussion right now. Is this something you could do? And they were very upset that I had sprung it to them last minute. You know, you got to understand, this is during COVID. A lot of the payroll staff were quiet quitting and all that, and came through. But they were upset. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, you know, out of a 2-week work period, I've already worked like a week and a half. I'm asking for my own fucking money. In a perfect world, right, I should be upset. Why haven't you paid me after a week and a half? Or we've created a society where the role of who's wronging who has been completely reversed, right? And when I thought about it, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. I just kind of filed it away as, you know, the world's kind of messed up, right? And I got the money, I bought the Polish stocks, and I did okay. I mean, certainly could have done a whole lot worse between then and now, right? Had I bought gold at the time, or the Dow at the time, I would have done a whole lot worse, right? So I think I'm okay. But just goes to show, right? When I was buying, this time around, I bought about 2,000 pounds of bismuth. I was rotating which, because I have a number of credit cards and they have different due dates and billing cycles, obviously. I was rotating which one will let me put off paying for the longest, because right now I have a Discover savings account which gets a good rate of interest too, but I also want to buy bismuth early. So now I get the best of both worlds because I have multiple credit cards. I always get at least 5 or 6 months to pay without paying any interest. And so that's the kind of thing you would do in a hyperinflation environment, or wanting to get your pay advanced and wanting to max out your credit card grace periods, right?